What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and we're at it again with the Hunters Guild Red Hood chapter review. This is for chapter 7, entitled The Iron Work. So this takes place a week after they had left Hamlet and they reached the port town called Borderport. Now, Valoo looks upon this big building and he's like, this looks like an enormous metal box. And we find out that this is the camp fortress called the Iron Works. And we're actually introduced to the Iron Works constructor and conductor, and her name is Hot Blooded Debonair. So it's Debonair Diamond. And she's massive. She's freaking super swole and completely tall. It's ridiculous. And so she makes a little tiny pun at the two twins because she noticed them before. And, she goes to give a handshake to Valoo, and he notices that, her hand is abnormally hot and it starts to steam. Now, we also get a rundown of what goes on, so they, it's the Hunters Candidate Rail Training Facility number 21, but it's popularly called the Iron Works. Now, it is a mobile training center. It's only passengers or those who hope to join the Hunters Guild. And so the whole thing is to build up from square one their bodies, discipline their mind, and teaching them basic skills that they need. Only those who can handle her strict training regimen earn the right to arrive at the Hunters Guild headquarters and become a hunter. Now, those who don't, they get sent off with a boat and they gotta get home by themselves. So we also get a little preview of some, potential characters. We're introduced to one as they depart. His name is Big Joe Bonkers. And he knows Tilty and Milty, the two brothers and sisters. And he actually failed 4 times. And then we also get another person, Bremen. And, he wants to avenge his family. So it's funny because with Big Joe Bonkers, his whole stance is you gotta get strong and bulk up, in order to stand a chance. But we have to take into consideration that he's also failed a few times, So then we get as far as a little bit of training. It starts off right away, and Valoo, what is it? It's about a week in, I want to say, and this is supposed to be 3 months. If Valoo's just all like, man, I can't even do this, and he's like eating this 2,000 calorie meal. That's, what does it say? It says Debonair special 2,000 calorie plate. And she's all with the diamonds and everything. She's just like, ding, eat up. And then there's a moment where Valoo sees the old man on the boat. Like I mentioned before, if you don't want to be there anymore, you get on the boat and you gotta get home by yourself. So Valoo sees that, and this was after him seeing, him all riled up and, being the older guy there, still having that, that want to do that. It then pushes Valoo, and everyone sees that, Valoo's a little bit different. He's more determined. And Bonkers asks, have you seen Grandpa lately? Figured he wouldn't last, and you just see Valoo take that nasty freaking plate and devour it. And he's all like, I don't have time to feel down. Not that it matters if I do. I'm gonna become a hunter. Now, what's very, very interesting is then we get as far as the the big wolf that we mentioned before, and we also get as far as what's her face? Her name, escapes me. But then the chapter ends with the mayor's actually alive, because we didn't actually see the mayor get eaten. It was only assumed. Now, what's interesting is the fact of what, the witch says, which is, no matter how much we set the stage for him, he's still merely a stand-in. He doesn't have what it takes to be the star. Still, everything is riding on him, right? And you work so hard to raise him too, isn't that right, Mr. Mayor? And the thing is, there was some little foreshadowing as far as within that. And so, there's a reason why Valoo has that axe. So the chapter ends as far as with that. Now, let me say, this is getting very, very, very interesting. And I like the pacing. I like the, this how everything's kind of building up. I like how it's almost instantly getting into what would be considered tournament arc, because we get to introduce other characters and what it is that their reasoning for becoming hunters. And we also get to see how many people are potentially, undercover just to watch Valoo. Also, was that old man that left on the boat, was he the mayor? And if so, is there, because the first thing we're introduced is the fact that, Grim can shapeshift basically. Well, not shapeshift, she just has, we don't like, her small version isn't her real version. It's kind of like the whole Kid Goku thing, but with that type of power to do that, is there other spells and things like that that can allow, now, there's several things that basically, is there spells that allow for you to also change like your height and different things like that? And was it the mayor that was actually that old dude that was planted there, just to get Valoo motivated? So that definitely could be a possibility. But what's the mayor's deal? What's the mayor's deal? And for him to be working with, as far as the wolves, the same wolves that, this is the mayor, and they just laid waste to his entire village. So what in the world? Like, all this build up, for what? What's this building up to? But man, this is getting good. This is chapter 7. And I'm curious to see. I want to do some more breakdowns of the information that we got so far, what I think is going to be going down. But anyways, guys, this is a chapter review of the Hunters Guild Red Hood, chapter 7. Make sure to check out my manga, The Most Random Manga Ever. It is a cannabis-themed manga style comic book. So check that out. There's 8 issues you can read for free on my site. And then you can also get volume 1, which includes 11 issues, and issue number 1 of my comic book 11-Bit Castle. So make sure to check that, link in the description. And make sure to hit that like, subscribe, notification bells, and let me know if y'all want to see more the Hunters Guild Red Hood content. Anyways, this is Mr. Composition. Peace.
Coming back to earth with a couple gems of wisdom that might take a few decades to decode. So I better get the work on. No need for second guessing, cause it was already written, or was it? Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Take control of what you can't control.